Old man Woody likes the crooked cock.
I have a question for Bruce. You mentioned Machinima.
Yeah.
How much did the people there hate me at Machinima?
Oh, I don't have very much of a frame of reference. Yeah, I don't think that they hated you.
I went there once, and there was a picture of Benedict Arnold with my face on it, hanging in somebody's cube.
Holy shit! Well, I mean, like, the thing is that Machinima. So I made the original content there. I never did any of the partner management stuff. So I don't know. And I would talk to people at partner management, and they were my friends, but no one ever mentioned anything like they hated you specifically.
Fucking Woody guy.
That's like the only evidence I had, but it seemed pretty concrete. You know,
I mean, look. If you saw it, then I believe you, Woody.
No, see, that wasn't Benedict Arnold. That was George Washington. They saw you as a general, a leader,
a pioneer. Yeah.
I asked whichever Optic J or Optic something.
Yes.
Optic J, probably. Yeah.
Ryan.
And I was like, "Is that Benedict Arnold?" And he said, "Yeah."
Well,
it was like, damn, dude.
I'm trying to think whose booth it would be in. Like, who did you piss off individually? Because there were so many people at that company at that towards the end.
Right. I don't know. Here's what I imagined to be my offense. There was a time when X-Jaws and I went in there, and we just, like, on behalf of everyone really, but ourselves too, we negotiated some better things. Like, we used to get paid quarterly, and it was hard to live off a quarterly paycheck, you know, like it's the cash flow is too lumpy. It all dumps
I remember
in
the
and
court.
then,
Yeah, I remember it.
And also there was no, like, you couldn't really look at your views and your pay. They weren't monetizing some of the content. And I was like, man, it's really hard to even know what your paycheck's going to be. So, like, if we had a steady rate, then I could look at it and be like, this month's paycheck is going to be
PDFs
X.
They sent us. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was your doing.
So they improved the way that people got paid. It became monthly, and it became more directly tied into your views. So you could look at your views and calculate really closely what your pay was going to be. And they, like, that was, like, as we're in there talking about that, I'm looking at me as Benedict Arnold, like I'm awful, and I was like, I didn't think I was so bad. They seemed like...
What do you put it this way? You were doing the Lord's work. They were all, and I know Optic J really well. Actually, he's a good friend of mine. But it's one of those things where, like, he came into my office a long time ago and was like, "We're improving the partner program. We're going to make it so much better. Everyone's going to like us more and more." And then he ended up leaving Machinima. So either way, I think what you were doing was correct, because there were a lot of people at Machinima that were not doing the right thing. So I'm glad that you did those things. I'm glad all of you guys put up with the partner managers there. Because...
Why didn't they take my videos out of the Dropbox?
Let's relitigate that one.
About that. Anthony,
Short Wars.
You take that fucking video out of my Dropbox. You upload it to Respawn right now.
Tucker, you're gonna have to wait. We have another junkyard quickie to prioritize.
Hey, Ken Burton here, making small retarded 30-second content. Whatever the fuck he sounded like.
Oh my god, I forgot all about that.
I feel so bad for all of you guys, because you're on that side of it, and they were all, like I said, they were all really good friends of mine I've known for years, and there were a few people at the very, very top of Machinima that were making real bad decisions, and we all knew it.
Yeah,
we all knew it. So it was one of those things where we wanted.
Cal,
I always felt bad for all the partners, because you guys had to deal with it, and eventually that's why we left. Just so you know.
Yeah, too much snow. Yeah.
Too much that to us. Yeah. It's snowing in Atlanta. You just got out of prison, Kyle. You can't go back.
Yeah, you did just get out of prison.
It would have been interesting if Machinima gave us visibility into what they were earning. Like when you work with a normal agent, they usually tell you, like, look, I take 20%, I take 5%, you know, whatever. And you guys are kind of on the same team, motivated to make that percentage of something as big as possible. With Machinima, that didn't exist. You didn't know what they were taking. It just seemed like they were getting mucho rich, and we weren't. And, you know, if they were just sort of open and honest with their accounting, that would have gone a long way.
Oh, absolutely. Wow. And it was, they really, I mean, that's why they're out of business now.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was like, if they were open and honest with a lot of things, I think they would still be here, but.
Yeah. And they were not getting mucho rich, just so you know.
So they didn't even, like,
well, their expenses were high.
Yeah.
I mean,
when did you leave Machinima?
Oh, I left at the beginning of 2015. So very end of 2014 is when we started thinking about leaving.
Okay. So a long time ago. Were there any I mean, I know a lot of those guys are your buddies. You have to sell them down the river. Were there any times like shit was going down there or behaviors that you witnessed and you're like, this ship is sinking?
All the time.
Yeah.
Well, literally all the time. I mean, like, and that's why we all stuck together. It was one of those things where, like, and again, generally speaking, at the people at Machinima, for the most part, the people that I knew and worked with to get like side by side were great. And it was just the decisions above them. And this is the same, like, not to go off on a tangent, but this is the same thing that I've seen all across my entire career in the gaming industry. Is everywhere I go in the gaming industry, it's like the people at my level that are like doing the work and actually are the people that love this shit are so fucking awesome. They're great people. It's right above them that they don't know what the fuck is going on. And then they think they know what's going on. And that's the worst part of it. So I just don't get it. Sorry about the motorcycle. There's a giant motorcycle.
Is that what that was?
It sounded like a
That guy
monster
has a
roaring.
huge cock.
I'm like,
Dude, he's got a giant cock, and I tell him every day. So
I tell him every night.
yeah, but I don't know. That's the common thread everywhere I've been, is that the people above, the people that do the work, just are enforcing these terrible policies.
Yeah. You're like the hardworking middle class, and they're like the bougie, champagne and caviar people. Yeah.
I mean,
Bourgeoisie.
It seems like the place to be in this business is agent, right? Like most people. Oh, okay. I'm interested in your thoughts, but the way my head is wired is this: all these top guys come and go, right? They all have curves, right? At some point, Shroud, who I guess is king of the game right now, will either not want to be king of the game, or people will find a new toy to play with. The same thing is, who's the Ninja is what I'm thinking of, right?
You can't ego Ninja like that. Who's that guy? Ninja. Like
Ego. It's not ego. I'm not his demo, dude. I know. So, Ninja's hugely valuable. But at some point, like, he might not even be motivated by money anymore. He might be like, I have freaking 30 million. Why am I subjecting myself to online comments every day, right? But if you're the agent and you're taking whatever 5, 10, 20% of this, then you just get to roll from winner to winner to winner and collect money in perpetuity.
Yeah. I mean, like, in a perfect world, your agents have to continuously prove that they are worth, somebody else getting picked up. So if they don't do a good job, then like now you're left with a bunch of like okay clients. And then, the often not talked about section is that your agent or manager, depending on the situation, is responsible for the shit that you make, right? Like your cleanup, right? So if you fuck up, guess who's dealing with it? It's not me, it's the agency. So, like, putting people in that position is definitely makes it, I guess, a little bit like evens the scales. I would love to collect checks in perpetuity and, negotiate for people and then not have to travel anywhere, and then you just get a percentage. But like, at least in terms of the people that represent me, like, they represent 6 or 7 people each, and each one of those person is a small like group of the pie. So there's like, it's just like a different angle to make money, but it's still like a lot of fucking work. I think like marketing would be the easiest part. Not the easiest, but like the least stressful.
Yeah, because there's no impact on them. Like, if somebody markets Tucker or me and they go, hey, these guys are going to do this thing, and then we go in and fuck up because of some other mistake or whatever, we are the ones on trial.
Yeah.
Not the marketers.
The marketing team are like, well, we did our research and we got some good clients. Like, we'll not hire them again. And everybody's like, all right, roll them up, next one.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't know you wouldn't want to intro David Duke.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of fans in West Virginia, and I thought mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. There's also another whole. Not to get this. I don't want this to turn into the business podcast, but it's one of those things where if an agent is, like you said, collecting checks in perpetuity, eventually, as they're fucking people over along the way, eventually all of us are going to go, don't ever work with this person. And so as we stay in the industry longer, they're going to burn all their bridges.
I ended on that note. I love the
That was
wordplay.
the best
Very
shit
nice.
I've ever heard.